Good day, all. This is Dr. So of Token Trading Research. Welcome. This is another day in crypto trading. It's been a while. Okay, I think the bull market is here. There's a lot that is going to be happening. So right time to come back again to streaming. Right. Before we get started, let me just do some housekeeping here. Okay. Right, welcome traders. It's been an interesting week. There's been a lot. Ethereum has basically come down to a point that no one ever expected. So it is Bitcoin. Before we delve into the chart, the title for today is Charting the Millionaire Hopium. If you get it right, you probably will make money. Now let's begin to look at the strategy I am looking at. Oftentimes, a lot of people get flushed out in this market, especially crypto with high volatility. If you're on X, you could. I am on live. I am live on Token Trading Research. If you're on YouTube, it is the Token Trading Research as well. Okay, so let me put that away and let's get on to the charts. So what I basically want us to look at this particular time. Let me go on a lower time frame before we start to look at things. Let's start with the main assets, which is Bitcoin. So I am going to pull the Bitcoin chart up. Right, so this is the Bitcoin chart on monthly time frame. The monthly time frame. Right. If I'm a trader, I don't find it difficult to trade Bitcoins. If you have a lot of money, you're on a spot position, it will definitely come back. So if you look at the trajectory of Bitcoin so far, if we work our way back, you will observe that whenever Bitcoin reaches all-time high, it comes back again. If I take a trend line and just look at that before the last all-time high, you'll find that that trend was maintained. Not to bother you with Charlie, now let's go back to this recent trend. Right, so if I go by trend line, which of course a lot of people wouldn't want to actually dream of or think of that, because if you buy at 100,000 plus, you really doesn't want it to go to 43,000, it's something you don't want to think of. So if you are a short or a scalper, Bitcoin is quite an expensive asset for you to trade. And if you are a holder and with the strategic Bitcoin reserve, which has come to fruition with the election of Donald Trump, where you probably know the possibility of Bitcoin hitting 400, 500,000 this year, or even more than that if it comes to fruition. But as you are also aware, the volatility of Bitcoin is something that you need to be aware of. It can also tank, just as what happened this week with the tariff. And it came down to below 80, down to 74. If I go on a lower time frame, let me just do that. So it came down to 74, 434 US dollars, 74,434 US dollars. Okay, so now that is quite, if you are using leverage, you would have been flushed out because you probably would have entered above 100 or above 90 or even 80. You find that you are flushed out, you lose a lot of money. A lot of traders are in that position. Now, this now send us to altcoins. So if you look at altcoins, they have actually turned to a price you could actually imagine. Let's look at Ethereum, for example. This is Ethereum. Let's start with a higher time frame as well before we delve into the our discussion. Now, if you look at Ethereum, it has actually reached all-time high. That was the previous cycle. Now it came down, and the all-time high for that was 4,868, depending on the exchange. Some exchange actually went into 5,000. Then in the last cycle, it went to 4,000 before it began to come down. And Ethereum is currently at 1,565. At the lowest, it actually came down to 1,385. This is when altcoin becomes interesting, because in the last cycle, the least it came down to was actually 800. So if you are trading altcoins with leverage, you find that you are able to withstand this drawdown as compared to Bitcoin. Now, there's quite a lot of other coins that is competing with Ethereum. Solana was one, but with a lot of meme coins, with a lot of people losing money in meme coins and rug pools, people are worried with trading meme coin. That has actually reduced volume in Solana, and there are other competing that are competing with Solana. You have AVAX, you have Base, and DeFi. It hasn't actually done. It made a lot of people good money at the very beginning, but a lot of people equally lost, and because of that, a lot of people have actually lost interest. In fact, people are coming back to centralized exchange to actually trade. If you were to make money now that the prices are more or less at Mariana Trench level, which means they have tanked, it can be worse than this. There are some couple of coins I want to look at, okay? Let's look at ICP, for example. Just a disclaimer, I'm not paid to advertise any of these assets. What I'm actually looking at is assets that have stood the test of time. There's most likelihood that they are going to come back again to their all-time high. For that reason, for the probability of that, is something you would have done with every other investment you want to do. Is a gamble. You risk losing your money. That has to be made clear. Having that in mind, I think this is the time. Having that in mind, that any investment is risky. It is always advised that you trade with caution or you invest with caution. Okay, right. So if you look at ICP, for example, Internet Computing Protocol. So let me look at. This was an asset that actually. Okay, let's do this. Reset. It actually went to 2,831 in some exchange. In fact, in some exchange, it went above 3,000. Let's see if we have something like that. Let's look at Binance. All right. Yeah, there. Bear with me. Okay, I think let's use Binance, for example. That was 2,831. That was, let's make it bigger. Right. This is an example of an asset that actually peaked that high. And let's look at a lower time frame of a month when it rallied. When it rallied last year, okay, I'm trying to make it big. November. Yeah, so it actually came to $20, which is easily achievable. Currently, it is at $5.47, somewhere there, 0.47 cents, which is most likely that it is going to happen. So if you were looking at new coins that can easily be rug pull, if you want to trade risk between new coins and altcoins, these established assets, there's some money in it, and they can't just vanish overnight. So if you look at ICP, it has a utility. Maybe some other time we delve into that. My discussion today is more or less the altcoins prospect beyond meme coins. That your money is not going to vanish overnight as you have in meme coins. Right. If you look at that, was 2001 and 2021. It is still there, almost about 4 years old now. Let's look at another asset. Let me come out of this. Let's look at dots is another example. Polka dots. Let's look at right now. Polka dot has all-time high of $55, which is, and the asset is currently at $3.55 or 56 cents thereabouts. Now, in the last rally, this actually made it to $10 or so. This asset is not going to disappear overnight, okay? And it's been there for more than 5 years now, from 2020 or so. Let's look at what we normally do with these established altcoins. Look at the all-time low. Most of them are at their all-time low or their launch price. And even depending on where it was listed on the exchange, you'll find that it's not far from the initial coin offering, ICO, depending on the year. Or if it's recent, you probably will be able to track it through this strainer to see the launch price. And you find that most of these assets are basically below their launch price, some of them. Let's look at ADA, for example, which is Cardano. With the strategic Bitcoin reserve, you find that people were also thinking of SRP and ADA, and also Charles Hawking, also very close to the White House. So this is an asset that has been there for some time, and it has a lot of utility used in many places, including in Africa as well. You will find that these are assets that could easily rally. And the good thing is, it is actually at a very good price, because even during the bear market, it was around 2.8. That was the least it fell to. Though historically, when it was launched, it was 0.0177. That is the least, and that was around 2020 or so. But recently, the lowest it has ever fared to is 0.28 or so, thereabouts. Now, this is an asset with a potential. Now, even if you invest your money, it's not going to go into a thin air. It's not going to disappear as we have in red pools of meme coins. These are assets that are not going to disappear overnight. So, looking at the making money on crypto beyond bitcoins, these are assets you look at that whatever happens, it's going to rally back up, and you're not going to lose your money. That's the most important thing, as against the layer of meme coins that could actually disappear with the asset rug pull, and it doesn't exist again. There are many. I do have a lot of meme coin I have been invested in that no longer exist today. Now, why is this important at this point in time? Although you may have a scenario of dollar cost averaging, and if you've been doing that in these altcoins that has really tanked, at this point in time, you probably don't have any money to invest. But if you have a substantial investment there, if you buy at this time, you kind of bring the average entry point, which most likely it is going to go there. So $2 is achievable, and it's going to go above that. Let's look at SRP. That is another interesting one. And there has been a lot of volatility in SRP. So SRP actually, that is not the one I'm looking for. Okay, can I just use Binance? I am interested in SRP. Okay, right. So SRP, most of these tickers is, if you look at Binance, for example, you find that SRP has actually rallied up, and currently it is $2 less than 0.38 cents, for example. And in recent rally, it went to 3.4. That's a typical example of an asset that is never going to die. In fact, a lot of people lost interest at some point, but those who kept the assets actually discovered that they haven't lost. Some of them, maybe they probably bought it $2, and when it rallied, they were able to come out, they were able to take profit. Some of them that bought it 0.5, 2.8, where it was actually hovering for some time, they made a lot of profit. Now, in our discussion today of Hopium Millionaire, the reason I title the stream as Hopium Millionaire is actually to look at, just bear with me, to look at I'm still here. If you look at, as I was saying, if you look at SRP, you observe that there is a probability that it goes higher. But I have more interest in ADA as well, which I actually showed earlier, because Cardano actually came back to a price it rallied some after the strategic announcement. Okay, entering these assets, even if it really goes bad, then we might end up with, it comes back to 0.2.3, or 0.2 cents or 2.3 cents, which was the lowest price action we observed over the bear period. And if you were doing dollar cost averaging, you probably would end up in 0.3. If there is a steam for some news again, you usually make money from these assets and get out. Now, if you were on 2x leverage, the liquidation point would be around 3.2 or 3.1, somewhere there, which is actually the point it rallies up. Yeah, these are some consideration you probably will be looking at if you want to make money in crypto. Oftentimes, the mistake a lot of people make, they actually enter positions when the assets has already moved. For example, there were people who probably thought, oh, it's going to fly to the sky, straight away they enter at 1.3. Just bear with me. It probably entered somewhere here, around 1.3, and they probably are struggling now. If they use leverage by now, liquidation points have been triggered. If they were on spot, they are still okay, waiting when they can get in again. If they still have money, they can bring the entry level down by doing dollar cost averaging, or by buying at this point in time when it has actually retraced back to the 200 EMA or the VWAP level. It depends if you're on 1 month time frame, right? Now, again, what we're looking at today is the alternative to meme coins rug pull. Okay, you can make fortunes with meme coins. The temptation is always there, but if you are thinking of the alternative that you're not going to lose your money, and look at these building assets that are there. I have gone through Ethereum, for example, which the price is quite unimaginable at this point in time, except something bad happened. But even then, the least Ethereum went in the last cycle was around 800 plus, just around 800. Currently, it went to 1380, just short of 1400. If you were doing 2x leverage, then you are still okay. If you were doing a spot, you really have no reason to worry at all. So, whereas in case of Bitcoins, think of you buying a Bitcoin for 109, except you have the money to really kind of tie up. It is quite an expensive asset for a beginner, or for somebody who's just going into crypto. But if you are an institutional investor, you have money to tie up for a long time, that is not an issue at all. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm actually in a trade. Yeah, so my trade are still intact, so I'm going to leave those one in there. Let's look at some other assets as well. These are assets that when they move, they move. There's an asset or a coin that is actually owned by a reputable company called OpenAI. And that is the WAD World Coin, okay? Now, the interesting thing is that this asset, it actually came back to below listing price in most exchanges. When this asset move, a roll move, in the last month, it actually went down to $11. Okay, it's currently at 0.7. Okay. These are assets that is not going to disappear overnight. Though it was launched last year, quite recent, but there's high liquidity in this WAD or World Coin. That is something you may want to look at. Yeah. Now, there is also another asset. Let's look at. It is actually an alternative to BTC, which is Litecoin. They want the same code with BTC. It uses proof of work. Let's look at. Now, it actually rallied overnight. That was actually below 70 as at yesterday. It's quite interesting. So if we look at where it was launched, around 2018, somewhere there, or when it was listed here, you'll find that it actually came down to 360 or so. Yeah, around 364. But in the second rally, it went on to 413. And the last one, it went on to 254. Okay. Last year, early January, it actually rallied to 149. Okay, these are assets that they're not going to vaporize or dissipate overnight. It's not going to disappear overnight. Now let's look at another of these assets as well that relates to Bitcoin. Now, if you have a lot of money, you're buying Bitcoin, hoping that nothing goes wrong with its strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's a lot of plus points. Institutional investors buying Bitcoins, touch wood that nothing rolled back with the Trump plan. Yeah, so definitely Bitcoins we rally. More so is the first amount. You have about 21 million, which of course by now a lot are in people's hands, few to be mined. Most of it has been mined, I think. Yeah, so yeah, there's likelihood that there's a competition, there's the network effect that people want to acquire Bitcoin. On that hope, yeah, it could go at any price. But if you can't afford Bitcoin, if you're a small retail trader, you could actually make money from altcoins. A lot of people have been burnt in meme coins, and that is why altcoins that are established as Litecoins, for example, is something to think of. There is also a coin that actually move like a beast. That is the BCH, Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, so this is actually a good asset, and in fact, it was last time I looked at it was around 270 something, but it's actually rally up now. And at the peak, that actually went to 1,600. It depends on the exchange. Some it actually double that. So this is an asset that is based on proof of work as well. It's not going to disappear overnight. And recently, it was hovering around 660 or so. It actually went down in the last few days, but this asset move fast when it decides to move. There is another of this lineage. It's actually the developer version of the Bitcoin, BSV. So let's look at that. Currently, that is interesting. It actually came down to $24.50. Now the beauty of this is these assets move. In the recent move, it was around 84, depending on the exchange. It actually went down there early this year, up to close to 100. Last year, we saw 100 plus. Now, the beauty of these established assets, they can establish altcoins. They can make a lot of money from it. just as you make from milk coins. But milk coins, you run the risk of rug pull. There are a lot of milk coins that doesn't exist. Good luck. Even if the market maker try to show them up, they just use you as exit liquidity. Whereas these established assets, they are there. So what I'm actually doing, if you are looking at the medium to short-term investments, you pull the chart out, look at their all-time high, just as I've displayed here. Look at their all-time low, and it kind of gives you a hopium. It depends on when you want to exit, and if you have been in this market for some time, you probably now know that if there's a profit on the table, you quickly take it and run. And a lot of people have learned the hard way. They probably just bank some profits because it could go into reverse at any time. So for that reason, it's always better to take profits and run. Okay, let's look at some of the beasts that normally run. Okay, so there are some of these assets that actually do a lot of run up. Can we look at this TRP? TRB. Yeah, so this is another asset. Okay, so at the peak, it actually went to 500. In fact, I was actually trading that day when it went to 500. In some exchange, 640, and it's currently 23. It actually went down to 21. Most of the altcoins actually tanked because of the US and the Chinese tariff war. They actually tanked to their all-time low, which is actually the best time if you want to take a gamble. Of course, these assets are risk. These are best time to actually enter a stock position, and if you were thinking of leverage as well, this is the best time actually to do lower leverage. Like leverage are good in day trading because experience in trading, even Rolex, sometimes some of these exchange they take you down there, especially if it's in meme coins. Okay, they do have delisting. You find that no amount can save you. No amount of leverage can save you from that. That's SPS on the 1 month. That is what is happening there. Okay, so let's look at just looking at some of those assets that have been there for some time. Solana is actually come down to, let's look at Solana. Yeah, it's currently 121. It actually went down to 94. Okay. I know by this time, some of you have actually expended their money this year. It always happens that when you are left with no money, that is actually when most of the assets are so discounted that you could actually make money from it. Most of the altcoins actually give you that hopium. If you were someone who actually think of new coins, you've had a bad day. Some people had really had a bad day. They were not that lucky with any of the assets. They lost all their money, or they enter and hold it. They became exit liquidity. For that reason, it's not been a good experience for them. The established altcoins is something you want to think of. Now, if you have been encountering my post, please do subscribe so that when I'm online, you are able to join. I'm online in Twitter, and the handle is Token Trading Research, or at Token Trading ROES, or at Token Trading Res. Twitter has a limitation of about 15 or 16 characters, so for that reason, the research is actually clipped at ROES. So if you look for Token Trading Research in X, that is me. And if you also look for Token Trading Research in YouTube, it's me. Please do subscribe so that when I'm online, you are able to join. As we come to a close, if you're on X, you could chat. If you're on YouTube, we could have a chat as well. Right. If there's a ticker you want me to look at, we can have a chat as well. Okay, spam the chat with tickers. If you're on YouTube or if you're on X, I'm able to look at it before I go. As we call it today, this is Dr. So of Token Trading Research, and see you some other time in the next stream. Do put your notification on and subscribe as well, so that when I'm online, you're able to catch up. On that note, thanks for showing up.